Sound check 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm good. I'm good.
I have my weaknesses, but I choose to be strong. I choose to be brave.
I am aware of my flaws, but I choose to be fierce. I choose to do right by others.
I have my doubts and my struggles, but I choose to go all out. I choose to be different.
I choose to be free.
I am what I choose.
I choose to keep fighting,
To carry on.
to live courageously.
TV5 pushes me to be what I want to be.
It encourages me.
It inspires me.
TV5 keeps the fight in me burning.
I choose TV5.
I choose courage.
Ma-represent nila ang ating bayan ng mabuti.
Sound check 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio check. I'm good. James Mike. I'm good.
As Japan sneaks one through. Here we go with Terence. Sayaw, sayaw, sayaw. Gilas Pilipinas may naglaspat na sabay.
I have my weaknesses, but I choose to be strong. I choose to be brave.
I am aware of my flaws, but I choose to be fierce. I choose to do right by others.
I have my doubts and my struggles, but I choose to go all out. I choose to be different.
I choose to be free.
I am what I choose.
I choose to keep fighting,
To carry on.
to live courageously.
TV5 pushes me to be what I want to be.
It encourages me.
It inspires me.
TV5 keeps the fight in me burning.
I choose TV5.
I choose courage.
Welcome to day number 2 of the 2017 SEABA Championship here in Manila as you take a look at some of the sights and sounds around the archipelago of the Philippines and among the 7,107 islands. As we converge here in Manila, it's all about one love for the game of basketball this summer 17 as we welcome you to the Smart Araneta Coliseum for some Southeast Asian basketball action here in the 2017 SEABA Championship. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is James Velasquez alongside three-time Philippine Basketball Association Coach of the Year, Coach Ryan Gregorio, as we take a look, Coach, at some of the results of day 1 in this tournament. The Philippines, of course, Gilas Pilipinas, a whopping win against Myanmar, but our combatants coming up next, Indonesia, one of the pegged contenders in this tournament, will be going up against a very young but very hungry squad in Malaysia.
Oh, they're coming off a victory against Malaysia yesterday. Well, the games today, Vietnam losing to Thailand. What we're gonna see in the next few minutes are former champions. Malaysia won it in 2005 and way back in 1994. While Indonesia won it in 1996. You are correct. These are the two teams that could give Gilas a little scare.
Of course, with Indonesia, you have some familiar names. Mario Wuisang, at 38 years old, continues to anchor the Indonesian national squad. And of course, their team, half of the national team members have played in the IBL. So you know they're coming up with their best lineup today. But first, let's take a look at the team standings. Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines with the early lead in the standings, while Singapore, Malaysia, Myanmar, and Vietnam have yet to catch up, and they need to do so. Of course, just a few days in this tournament, you play a game every day. And for the teams today, talking about Indonesia and Malaysia. For Indonesia, they want to score back-to-back wins in a hurry. For Malaysia, they want to put the game yesterday behind them, where they actually led for most of the way, Coach Ryan, but then again, that's a challenge for a young squad, closing games out.
But they lost steam in the end. They failed to shoot well from the three-point area in the first 2 quarters. They were shooting accurately, and then for some reason, they just got tired. They missed a lot of shots in the end, and eventually they lost. While on the other hand, this Indonesia team was pretty much in sync yesterday, going up against Singapore. They were never threatened from the opening tip up to the end, and eventually they won by 21 points.
Of course, Indonesia bring back some of their veterans like Pratama, Sitorius, Grahita, and Wuisang, of course, the captain of that squad. On the other side, we've talked about this. Malaysia, they are missing 4 of their best players in this national squad lineup. But like what I mentioned yesterday, because I covered their game yesterday, Coach Ryan, they have players who have been training here in the Philippines, who have been competing here in the Philippines. And, you know, it's just a matter of time. They're knocking at that door in terms of development.
Oh, yes. And, of course, there were times when a Filipino coach was coaching their Philippine national team. So that is why we're going to see a lot of influence. And it's not just Indonesia, of course, Malaysia. We've got Filipino coaches there too. And it is just the influence and the respect that they have for Filipino coaches. That is why we're pretty much going to see a lot of Philippine brand of play with these two teams playing today.
Of course, the Philippines setting the bar in terms of Southeast Asian basketball. Before we break that down, let's all say silent for a minute for the national anthems of both teams.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Malaysia.
Both teams are just about ready to plunge into SEABA basketball action here inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum. It is an honor and a privilege for us to be bringing you this game of the 2017 SEABA Championship held here in Manila. As we take a look at our Supreme Court of Basketball, Mr. Zhong Yu from Taipei, our very own Mr. Arnolfo Bermeo from the Philippines, and Mr. Chuen Wing Leong from Singapore. And speaking of Singapore, like you mentioned, Coach Ryan really had a tough time against the veteran Mario Wisang, who scored in double digits. Like you mentioned, the influence of the Philippines. A lot of our Filipino ballers have actually played overseas and have played in Indonesia. And next to the Philippines, of course, Indonesia, this is a team that plays with a lot of physicality, and they're bringing two of their big guys in Sitoros and Sitepu, two of the tallest players who are old school ballers. They play back to the basket, they clang and bang inside and look for high percentage shots.
But they have a lot of tall players here in their roster. At least 4 players are standing above 6'5". So in terms of height and that vertical positive things for their team compared to Malaysia, they might have an advantage there in that department. So I expect this team to control the boards, get a lot of rebounds, and get scores off second chance opportunities.
They hardly missed the absence of Arki Wisnu and their naturalized player Jamar Johnson in their conquest of Singapore. They won at 71-50. Like what we mentioned, Mario Wisang at the forefront, leading them with 20 points, built on 6 of 7 3-point shooting. And speaking of 3-point shooting, that was the main weapon of Malaysia yesterday against Thailand. A lot of people were actually surprised that they took an early lead against a traditional Southeast Asian basketball powerhouse in Thailand, which just proves that this team can hang with the best of them.
Well, in the game of basketball, it's not really how you start. It's nice to have that jackrabbit start, but it's how you finish the game. So they lost him in the end. They lost their chances because they could not hit their mark from the outside. If there's one thing that we expect them to do again, because they don't have a relatively big roster, they're going to shoot from the outside. They're going to force Indonesia to challenge them and take shots from the outside. If they don't make it, their chances of winning are definitely minimized.
Tulad dun nabanggit mo, Coach Ryan, they don't have a lot of size. At isa sa mga naging problema nila in the second half was the foul trouble of their big guy, Chan Kek Tai. Early in the fourth, nag-foul out na siya agad, and that proved to be a problem because they could not handle si Sukdabe Gogar, sina Klahan, Patimhan Klahan, who really ruled the boards, and they got multiple second shot opportunities. In the game of basketball, there's this old saying, Coach Ryan, and I've heard you say this many times, no rebounds, no wins.
Oh yes, and height is still might, and that's exactly the reason why they lost that game yesterday, because there was no man on offense, no one man who can score on a high percentage basket. If your shots are not falling in from the outside, the natural tendency of the team is just go deep, go inside, and hopefully score on a higher percentage shot. But without that big man on offense, they had a hard time scoring. Not only that, on defense, they failed to protect the paint. So that is how important the guy playing the center position is for this team, Malaysia, who's again not really parading a lot of big players in their roster.
Let's see if the young legs of the Malaysian national team can run and gun Kontra naman dito sa Indonesia national team na merong isang veteranong leader tulad ni Mario Wuisan. Merong mga seasoned big men tulad ni Cristiano Ronaldo, si Tepu, and Difta Pratama. That's actually a very interesting name. Cristiano Ronaldo, si Tepu. I checked the age, Coach Ryan, pero hindi, mas bata siya. Mas matanda siya kay Cristiano Ronaldo. I was wondering if his parents got the inspiration from the famous football player.
That's right, and we've been talking about Wui Sang since the top of our coverage. And he is also a veteran of the ABL.
Yes.
I used to watch him. I'm not sure if he's still active this year, but definitely he's got the experience. While on the other side, ito namang Malaysia, a lot of young players in the roster. I'm not sure if they're able to get a naturalized Malaysian to play for them. But as far I'm seeing the roster right now, halos pare-pareho ng itsura yan. At we'll see if they can compete against Indonesia. Again, in their first game, Malaysia dropped their first game. While on the other side, ito namang Indonesia is coming off a victory. You know how cutthroat our tournament format is. Walang semifinals, walang finals. After the end of the games in this round, whoever has the best record will win the championship.
And here we go, first quarter underway from inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, and the taller Indonesian national squad controlling the opening tip. They go immediately down low, kick out Grahita. This guy is a gunner. You know he can shoot from the outside, but showing us that he can take it inside on a slashing move.
First basket here for Indonesia. That interior defense must be more solid for Malaysia. You force Indonesia to take shots from the outside because, again, they have this bigger roster. Expect them to lord it over inside the paint.
Pull-up jumper, short for Heng. And you can see Malaysia trying to be scrappier. Coach Ryan, kontra nga dito sa mas malaki front line.
You have to assess the situation. If you are Indonesia, of course, you feel like you have that height advantage and that vertical advantage because of your length. So if you're Malaysia, you cannot simply rely on your height, so you have to be a little more active. So good job there by number 24 to force a jump ball, and this is their second crack at the basket.
7 left to shoot, para sa Malaysia. Ong inside a Chan. Short jumper, no friendly bounce. And it's a foul on Anthony Liu.
And that is where experience will come into play. I thought Chan could have dribbled one more step in closer to the basket. He was wide open, but unfortunately he took that easy shot. And as a result, he missed it. An inadvertent finger there. And foul will be called against Malaysia, but umupo na muna, sinab.
Si Kevin Sitor is their tallest player. And on the floor right now. Still a very tall lineup para dito sa Indonesia. Firman Nugroho is now on the floor. Offensive foul for Indonesia. Again, if you're a bigger team, minsan may danger, Coach Ryan, namang gigil ka eh. Lalo na kung alam mong may physical advantage ka against your opponent.
Well, first you have to calibrate your strength. You know that they're taller and they're much stronger than the opponent. And it is okay. In the opening minutes of the first quarter, try how the refs are going to call it, then adjust along the way.
Ong trying to get away from Wui Sang. Almost got an end one, but will shoot free throws.
Nice activity once again by Malaysia. They're just working so hard. They're getting all the 50-50 balls, and that is why they have another chance here to score. They have yet to score in the ball game. Indonesia scored the first basket at 2 points, and now a chance for Malaysia to enter the scoring column.
And they do, thanks to that free throw brought to you by Smart. And this is a welcome sight, Coach Ryan, kasi free throws kahapon, fourth quarter. Dumating yung kanilang unang attempts, talking about Malaysia.
And that only goes to show that they really fall in love with the outside shot. So if you're not attacking the basket, you don't give the opportunity for the referees to call a foul. But here, I think that's the adjustment that they did after they lost yesterday. They're attacking strong. All their shots are coming inside the paint. Kaya forced din itong Indonesia to play defense against them.
Well, Indonesia unable to score in the last 2 trips.
Very flat start here for Indonesia in the last 3 possessions. They turned the ball over 2 times, And now they have to play defense.
Yeah, swings it over to Chan. That sweet shooting center para sa Malaysia. Hang, catch and shoot. Just lets it fly. Offline that time. Not a cover ni Ong. Balik sa labas. 5 left to shoot para sa Indonesia. Look at how Indonesia is playing the defensively. No clear driving lanes para dito sa Malaysia.
Oh, they did a good job there stepping on that baseline. When somebody is attacking on that side of the court, all you have to do is step on that baseline. He's got no operating space that will force your opponent to turn the ball over.
9 left to shoot now para sa Indonesia. Woisang in the low block against a smaller Hang. He is immediately double teamed. Malaysia showing a lot of fight on defense, and they get a stop.
A fantastic double team there, forcing Woisang to turn the ball over. Defensive end of things, Malaysia is doing such a tremendous job.
They want to go to the low block. Anthony Liu. Liu spins, no room to shoot. Chan lets it fly for 3. Compared to their performance in the first quarter yesterday, Malaysia still trying to hit the mark from downtown, and there's a foul as they try to deny Mario Woisang.
Oh, they're getting the shots off. Unfortunately, hindi mo pumapasok ng kanilang mga tira, but bad news once again. 2 big fouls for Malaysia there. Itong si Liao natawagan na ng 2 sunod. It's a quick hand by their head coach to give him a rest.
And Mario Woisang is just looking so steady. Nung nagsimula maglaro ito si Mario Woisang for Indonesia, and probably most of the players of the Malaysian national team weren't even holding a basketball yet. So para si Woisang, para si relax ka bata.
Oh, well, there's definitely a legend there sa bansang Indonesia. He is 38 years old, and in their game against Singapore, he top scored with 20 points. And what about the shooting from the 3? 6 out of 7. So you look at him, you know that he's taking care of his body. Dahil kondisyon na kondisyon, he's still quick. Yep. He has not lost a step, but more importantly, he's still accurate from the 3.
No second chance opportunities for Malaysia. Here comes Indonesia trying to score on the break. Rahita waits for more friends. Catch and shoot. Pratama, right side. No. I expected this, Coach Ryan. Lalo na sa ilalim. Indonesia and Malaysia will be physical.
They have their heated rivalry, especially in the game of football.
Oh.
Talagang ibang klase pag naglaban itong dalawang to. Very physical, very emotional. They're so passionate about the sport, and it is very safe to say that football is actually the #1 sport in their respective countries.
And that 3-point shot brought to you by PLDT Home Fiber. Upgrade the home's most powerful broadband.
So what is basketball to us is actually football to them.
Yeah.
Second sport lang nila itong basketball, and a lot of international big shots, not just in football but also badminton. Yan talaga ang magagaling na sport nitong bansang ito.
Like all the other sports you excel at. You're free to play. Open shot again. That couldn't go back-to-back from downtown. Ito si Heng nagpapadali on the break against a veteran Mario Woisang, but couldn't score that time. Pratama against 2 defenders. And turns it over.
Now, if you're Malaysia, you'd be happy with the way you're playing defense, because in as much as you're struggling from the field, the score is just 5-2, and the reason being is they're sprinting down on defense, they're forcing a lot of turnovers, they're contesting all the shots, and they're just fighting for every loose ball. Now on offense, they just have to have direction. Kulang na kulang yung kanilang napupuntahan. Kaya hindi pa sila nakakascore ng marami dito sa ating first quarter.
5-2. Indonesia advantage. 5 minuto natitira sa unang yugto.
Very impressive ball handling skills there by Theo. He was able to cut through that double teaming scheme by Indonesia, and he was able to fish for a foul.
Yes, si Theo Kokhu. Coach Ryan, part yan ng Westport's Malaysia Dragons na nag-champion sa ABL.
Yeah, very familiar. Some of the faces playing here in SEABA, napapanood ko sa TV.
Right on Q. Q making them pay, slashing and dashing. And Malaysia within one. Oh, they get them back.
It's all about execution and finding your strength. They were just passing the ball outside, and that forced the defense to also rush out, but they also have that quickness advantage, and that is why they're able to pounce on that and get easy 2 points.
There's Alvin Ang, misses, and a strong rebound there. Rahita this time from the left side, staring down his defender. Oh, right left crossover. Balik sa labas, si Tapu faking, shooting, but couldn't score. Tough rebound inside para sa Indonesia. Open shot this time, Grahita. Couldn't knock it down. And finally a stop para sa Malaysia.
Oh, the shots are wide open. They're just failing to hit it on a consistent basis, and that is why they're giving Malaysia a chance once again to inch in. They're down by 3 points at this point.
Inside pass to Mac, stolen away. Good defense there by Kurniawan. Malaysia immediately back, protecting the transition.
Yeah, but you have to give credit, at least on the effort department. If you are Malaysia, you just have to sprint back on defense, because for some reason Indonesia is having a hard time scoring consistently on their half-court sets. But this is going to be trouble for them. Allow Indonesia to get steals and score on fast breaks. That will be very advantageous for that team. Again, we've talked about it. They have the height advantage. All they need to do right now is to get a lot of easy points via fast break opportunities.
Speaking of fast break, it's Abraham Grahita who scored all the points so far para sa Indonesia.
9 points, leading all scorers here, and it's pretty much like 1 against 5 here. Let's see if he's gonna score again in this possession.
Never shy. Challenge there. Pero balik sa Indonesia bola. Lakudu telling the troops to settle down. Sitempu swings it over to the right side. Kunyawan now inside pass. Jumper wouldn't fall. So aside from Grahita, no other Indonesian players really scored here. Could that be a cause of concern, Coach Ryan, with the 2 minutes remaining here in the first?
Well, the big guys are just expected really to play defense and get defensive rebounds, and probably score a basket or 2 inside the paint. Let's see if that big man can score. Still nothing there aside from Grahita. It might be a cause of concern, because what if Grahita goes to the bench?
Right now, like right now.
So who's going to score? Yes.
Let's see how Indonesia responds as Abraham Grahita will now be taking a breather.
Bakit kilala mo na lahat?
Nag-homework ako, Coach Rai. Nag-homework ako. Alam mo naman ako.
Ako pa number lang eh.
Finally, someone knocks it down. Another three-pointer. And that three-point shot brought to you by PLDT Home Fiber. Upgrade home's most powerful broadband.
Somebody will just step up, step on the line when his name is called. He just has to take his shots and take it confidently. Yun ang nangyari sa Indonesia nung nawala yung kanilang leading scorer. Masyadong nag-open up naman yung opportunities for the others to score.
They want to fix their spacing. Lakudu to the other side. Kurniawan couldn't control it.
I like that play. Every time somebody penetrates, you attract the defense and make that pass out. Sayang lang hindi nasalo. Pero it's a good basketball play because it really motivates you to play unselfish kind of play. It's the hardest thing to guard in basketball, and what is that? Every time you penetrate, the open man gets the ball.
Oh, Ting dancing with Kurniawan. And a reach and foul. I think it's going to be on Antara Raskawa.
His first foul, 14 foul for Indonesia. 14
Indonesia up now, 12-4. Dahil doon sa hot shooting ni Abraham Grahita kanina. Touch on Kurniawan, 39 tactic pass.
This is a very young Malaysian squad that we're seeing here.
Everyone under the age of 23, Coach Ram.
Yes, and pretty much like Myanmar yesterday, but it's different because the average age of Myanmar is 20, and the oldest player in the roster is 23.
Wow.
And they were beaten badly by Gilas Pilipinas by 107.
Wow. Well, again, Alain Maliksi did say that it's us showing respect to the game and to the opponent.
And that is how you should play the game, regardless of the opposition. You just play the same way as how you play top teams. And that is how Gilas Pilipinas displayed their basketball brilliance in that game yesterday.
A little color developing here. As Chu wanted to protect the basketball from Prastawa.
And there's no problem with that kind of a move because you always want to protect that basketball. Can you imagine 10 guys fighting for one ball, 20 hands? As soon as you get that ball, you have to protect it with your dear life. So kung ganun may mga swing, but as long as walang matamaan doon, it is a good basketball play.
This free throw brought to you by Smart. Drew Wei Hong actually hit a couple of three-pointers yesterday. Was 2 for 2 on that trip from the stripe. Wala nang isang minuto natitira sa first quarter.
A little change up here. Every time they score a basket from the free throw line, they trying to delay the offense of Indonesia by doing a certain press.
Oh, but Lakudu, easy two inside.
That's a fantastic penetration there. Hindi niya ininda yung depensa ng Malaysia ron. And the Indonesia up by 8 points, tying their biggest lead in the ball game.
Yun yung advantage, Coach Ryan, na naglalaro ka sa professional. Nasanay ka na doon sa ganong klase ng banggaan, pag gumamit ka ng screens, pag sinusubukan ka ng off balance, you can take it and still finish.
And the scoring against the taller defenders, yun ang advantage mo if you're playing at a higher level basketball tournament.
That massive by Cornyawan will not go. So at the end of the first 10 minutes of action, it is Indonesia taking a 14-6 advantage thanks to the early scoring of Abraham Grahita as they take the lead. And we have more basketball action coming up in the second quarter. Welcome back to the Smart Araneta Coliseum for the 2017 SEABA Championship. Story of the stats in the first half, Coach Ryan, between Indonesia and Malaysia.
It is not great in terms of field goal shooting for Indonesia, only 6 out of 16. But if you play defense and limit your opponent to 1 out of 15 and a total of 6 points, that means you're really giving premium on the kind of defense that you play. And not only that, rebounding also on the side of Indonesia, 15-9, assists 3-0, and turnovers. Mas marami ng konti yung Indonesia. What is nice is, yes, they turn the ball over, but they are not allowing Malaysia to score off the turnovers. So, great first quarter. Indonesia playing as good as advertised so far. They are the seeded team, and that is why they're enjoying an 8-point lead.
Another thing that I noticed, Coach Ryan, kumpara kahapon na magandang ikot ng bola ng Malaysia. Now, no easy passes yung ibinibigay ng Indonesia to Malaysia because they know that if Malaysia keeps rotating the ball easily, it will result in open shots.
Well, for one, they've got good shots from the outside. You're talking about Malaysia. A lot of attempts, 15 attempts is sufficient. But if you only score 1 point field goal or 1 field goal out of the 15 attempts, that means you're really bad. They scored a total of 25 points yesterday in the first quarter against Thailand. But now only 6 points. So credit half that to Indonesia because of their tough defense inside the paint. And they're challenging the outside shooters of Malaysia as well.
Firman trying to make it stronger in the post against Chan. And Chan has to be careful, Coach Ryan. Again, fouled out early in the fourth quarter yesterday. He's going to have that target on his back, being the lone true big man para dito sa Malaysia.
So good scouting on the part of Indonesia. They know that Chan, who played only 17 minutes yesterday, you're correct, he fouled out. He scored a total of 4 points. But after that, they will have a hard time rotating big man because of the limited big guys they have in their roster.
And this free throw brought to you by Smart. No makes there for Firman Dwi Nugroho. Indonesia again with a slew of bigs that they can rotate. Let's see if Theo Koktu can make something happen contra kay Rotawa. Sends it over to Chong. 8 left to shoot para sa Malaysia. Chong looking for an opening. Tries to spin away. Wala. Theo to the other side. Open shot. Ting knocks it down. Big bucket for Malaysia. That 3-point shot brought to you by PLDT Home Fiber. Home upgrade, the home's most powerful broadband.
I thought that was a good execution. They were not in a hurry to get that shot off. They actually used a lot of time sa shot clock nila. And they were able to get a good rhythm shot from the 3.
Oh, Lakudu. Where's big man? Baseline jumper is good for Firman.
A must-have for a big guy. If he steps out of that short corner, his defender will always try to help out. If he gets that pass, it has to be automatic every single time.
Oh, look at Ting flying high, getting fouled. Good decision there by Ting to take it strong to the basket.
But he saw that the defender was off balance. He was not in the right position. There is no way they're going to call a charge because he was in that side wherein it is a no charge zone. So every time you attack the basket and the defender moves a little bit, there is contact, a foul has to be called.
This free throw brought to you by Smart. Ting Chun Hong. 6'3" forward. Para dito sa Malaysia, getting that one to go.
He's got a good stroke. The last 5 points were scored by Ting. He had 4 points yesterday in 25 minutes of action. Not very good from the field, only 2 out of 8, but at least his first attempt from the 3 was able to nail it.
Look at the fearless drive of Hardianos Lakudu. Pangalawang ankle-breaking drive na niya yan kontra sa depensa ng Malaysia.
It's all about confidence, sensing that there is no rim protector from Malaysia. What he's doing right now is just attacking with reckless abandon.
Chan fade away. Shoots it over the backboard, trying to shoot over the long arms of Firman.
That's a candidate for Shaq in a fool.
Well, that's all you can do when you do have a 6'7" guy. I know I've been subjected to many of that when I play outside, Coach Ryan. Buti na lang, walang camera. Walang ebidensya, walang nakakita, walang nangyari.
Walang witness. O meron. Pero hindi conclusive yun pag walang video.
And again, like you mentioned, that has to be the hallmark of Indonesia's game if they want to take control of this game against this scrappy Malaysian squad.
Oh, nothing easy in the paint. Everything is contested. If they want to score, they have to shoot well from the 3.
Malaysia trying to gang rebound, but ball will stay with the Indonesians.
14 seconds to shoot.
Malaysia is playing hard. They don't have the complement of a lot of big guys in their rotation, but they're fighting tooth and nail. At least the big guys from Indonesia are not scoring at will. So that's a good job. Pagdating dun sa kanilang interior defense.
Yun lang ang pumapatay naman dito sa Malaysia, yung mga gwardya nitong Indonesia, si Grahita, Lakudu, Pratawa. No fast break opportunity as well para sa Malaysia. Chung fires away. Short on the triple tie. Here's Prastawa now, taking it into their attack zone. Ooh, Prastawa dancing with his defenders. Uses the Firman screen. Oh, taken away by Malaysia. There's a foul. And you have to credit that scrappiness, that heart. Kasi pinapakita ng Malaysia kontra sa mas malaki, mas veteranong Indonesian national team.
Making stops. Please, you're not giving up. And Malaysia, they're only down by 7 points. And this guy, itong si Theo, has very good handles. He can really control that leather. The challenge there is, if he makes that pass, who's gonna score?
Yeah.
So sayang yung kanya mga effort to give those assist passes. And again, a turnover here for Malaysia. So in terms of basketball intelligence and even experience, angat na angat itong si Theo kumpara dun sa kanyang mga kampi.
When you have that type of talent, Coach Ryan, and you play the guard position, you coach the elite guards, it's all about that balance of getting your own and getting your teammates involved.
Well, for one, you have to be very, very patient because sometimes it takes a lot of effort to draw the defenders to you and then to make that pinpoint assist pass. It can be deflating if your teammates can't make that open basket. But I am looking at the demeanor of Hill. Okay pa siya, very positive siya. He's not blaming anybody and just a positive influence for his team.
Let's see if Theo can inspire his squad. They are trailing 11-18 against Indonesia here in the second quarter. And again, you are watching the SEABA 2017 Championship held here in Manila.
Okay, inbound, Mei. I want to think here. And point guard from out here. Okay, the other one is Yang.
One step closer to the FIBA Asia Cup.
Seal, you pass, Mei pass the ball to the guy. The guy gets the ball. Shooting, seal, then screen, from out gets the ball. Okay?
Watch the game
like
never before.
So when you get ball goes in ready, then you set the screen. Shooting set the screen, Mei is coming out. I want this guy to come in, seal. I want the ball.
Pass, go, pass and go. Jangan lupa pegang bola.
Welcome back to the Smart Araneta Coliseum for more of the 2017 SEABA Championship here in Manila. And so far, it's an 18-11 lead para sa Indonesia kontra sa Malaysia. 6 na minuto natin tira sa second quarter. Like you mentioned, Coach Ryan, Indonesia, kahit hindi ganun kaganda yung shooting percentage yet, they're controlling this game because of their defense.
Oh yes, a lot of tough shots. Again, in the first 10 minutes of action, only 1 out of 15 from the field for Malaysia. Good thing for them. They scored a total of 7 points already here in the second, with still a lot of time to be played here. And the big thing for them is they're only down by 5 points.
Oh, good steal there. Steele controls the basketball. Oh, look at him. Stepping back. Couldn't knock it down. Wei Sang and Ting chasing after it. Malaysia controls the rebound. Can on the cut. Oh, denied. That's just the size there of Indonesia. Wei Sang lets it fly. And there is a foul on Chung.
It's a mortal scene in basketball. You don't foul a jump shooter, but we take a look at, again, the inside presence of this tall Indonesian team. Denied once again. Chan has been trying to shoot from inside, but for some reason, he still could not score. And it's very obvious. We've talked about the number of big men in the roster of Indonesia. All 4 or 5 guys more than 6'5" in height. And they're really controlling the paint defensively.
Switching Malaysia defensively, playing more of a zone now, Coach Ryan.
Oh yes, and now the challenge for Indonesia to shoot well from the outside.
Wei Sang blocked. They're playing good defense. Wei Sang hasn't actually scored here. Steele looks to steady the troops. Pass inside. Good recovery by Sitorios. Chan trying to set a screen. Para kay Chong. 5 left to shoot now. Para sa Malaysia. Ting. He has 7 points in the game and will troop to the line. He has been very aggressive, Coach Ryan.
Oh, the activity is definitely up there. 5 points all scored in the second quarter. In the first game, he only scored 4 points. Here, in the second quarter alone, he's got 1-3, 2 free throws, a total of 5 points. What I like about him is not scared. If he gets that opening and he sees a little gap dun sa defense ng Indonesia, he's not afraid.
Tsaka decidido dun sa galawin. Wala nang arte-arte na.
Hesitation.
Makita niya may driving lane agad. Chan outside. Still. Oh, there's almost a collapse on defense. Chan has to fire away. He has been checked by this Indonesian defense. Rahita, their leading scorer, back in the game. Fake shot gets fouled. Oh no, there's a traveling violation.
The Filipino ref will not miss that kind of a call. If it looks awkward, that means he did something illegal. So nung nakita natin nagka-opening siya, obviously he traveled.
Let's see, referee Arnolfo Bermeo. Eagle-eyed basketball official here. Of course, it's another source of pride para sa lahat ng competing countries when they have their officials representing their countries in the different games.
Oh, definitely. And we know how much we love the sport of basketball. And we're not just referees inside. Specifically to si Bermeo, he's really an educator. So he calls the fouls, but more importantly, he also has that ability to explain why he's blowing his whistle.
Oh, Grahita lobs it up. Wala. Last touch on Ting.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
14 left to shoot para dito sa Indonesia.
So I know for a fact that there are some instances wherein Filipino referees are invited to go overseas to conduct a lot of basketball clinics. And not only that, even referees are invited to do a lot of referee.
Adam Grahita continues his scoring there. 12 points already in this game.
Oh, this guy must be guarded. I think scouting report-wise, you look at the game of Indonesia yesterday and Malaysia, they're pretty much aware of what Sang can do with that ball. But Grahita is playing so much better here as compared to his first game. Kailan ba skinor nito kahapon?
Grahita just 6 points yesterday.
Oh, only 14 minutes of action yesterday. But you know that he is doing a lot of positive things for his team because in the limited play that he played yesterday, his player efficiency rating is plus 28.
Yeah.
That is very, very high. So he is definitely one of the big-time players here for Indonesia.
Of course, if you're a purist of the game, you look at things like that. Not just the things he does offensively that stand out, but the other things that make him so efficient while he's on the floor.
Oh, yes, and that entails a lot of chemistry and a lot of unselfishness because that only means that you might not be scoring, you might not be assisting, but the mere fact that you're inside and you have that big lead every time you're there, that means you're a positive influence and a good chemistry guy for your team.
Speaking of something positive, how about that turnover forced by the full court pressure of Malaysia?
That is one thing that they should do on a consistent basis because there is no way they can guard Indonesia in their good half-court attack. So what to do is try to limit their options by playing tough full-court defense.
Here's Heng trying to get away from Sang. Spins, shoots, couldn't score. Rebound control by Indonesia. And here they come on the break. And Heng will give up the foul.
So the challenge continues here for Malaysia. Defensively, they are making the necessary stops. But in terms of offense, execution, direction, hindi consistent yung kanilang points of attack.
And Coach Ryan, it is a 21-15 Indonesia lead with under 4 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
Terus kita, biar energi kita habis di apa? Di second half. Artinya yang ini masuk sini lu lari aja, ya kan? Habis passing lagi. Habis dia datang, pasin lagi. Kalau lu mau dribble, oke, always speed dribbling. Boleh. Dibanding lu begini-begini, ya. Speed dribbling, yang ini, just ini. Cari aja posisi kosong. Misalnya lu kosong di sini, dia tinggi. Teriak aja, boleh long pass ke sini. Gak ada masalah. Yang penting nih, guys, di sini isi, di sini isi, di sini. Ada di sini. Pas ke sini.
Okay, just simple. Milo, you might just pick or go if you ask. Let's go, but go 2-1.
Back inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, where Indonesia is holding a 21-15 advantage against Malaysia. Wala nang 4 na minuto natitira dito sa ating first half, and it's again we keep harping on this, Coach Ryan, the defense of Indonesia preventing Malaysia to get the points that they easily scored yesterday.
And yes, and the big guys from Indonesia hindi pa nakakascore dito consistently dahil challenge lahat ng inside incursions ng white shirt.
Pratama short on the 3. They say it's Indonesia basketball, but will it be reversed? Somebody touched it last, all the way out. Oh, a shot clock violation. It hit the ring, though. Let's take a look at what...
Oh, they needed that help from the other referee. Of course, we're talking about referee Bermeo from the Philippines. A little confusion there.
Okay. See, referee Bermeo restoring order.
It's all about the command.
Yeah.
And you saw him when he made that verdict. The other 2 referees just followed.
Laying down the law.
This is how it's done. You're supposed to call it this way.
Oh, Pratama collides against Chu Wei Hong inside. Guards have been really consistently finding those driving lanes.
And I like the toughness of this man. I don't think he was really ready to make that basket because the defense was there in front of him. So what he did is he went aggressively and actually initiated that contact. And when he heard the referee, he was just going for that shot. So 2 free throws for him. He makes the first one. Just the 3rd attempt for Indonesia in this ball game. Back-to-back baskets there, and the lead goes up to 8 points. Again, this is the biggest lead of Indonesia. They could not break that 8-point barrier.
Maklok Singh. Hand off. Anthony Liao to the score. Offensive rebound. They come far and few between, but Malaysia is now trooping back to the free throw line.
Oh, it's nice execution for them. A nice handoff pass from the outside. When he saw that little opening, 3 guys actually collapsed. He did not make that basket, but on the weak side, itong si Chu was there to grab the offensive rebound. If there is one thing that they're doing so well, we're talking about this Malaysia team, is that they're 9 out of 9 from the line.
Look at Andre Blatch chilling like a villain somewhere at the sideline there with his brother, Trey.
And the only thing lacking there is the sun.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a drink of coconut. Here's Wei Sang kicking out. Contested 3 won't go, and it's Hang coming away with a rebound. Gang rebounding in Malaysia.
That is the way to go. Even the small guys are supposed to go and attack that basket for an opportunity to get that rebound.
Big 3 for Chu Wei Hong, brought to you by PLDT Home Fiber, home's most powerful broadband.
So nice extra pass there. The big guys can actually score from the outside. And don't look now, a 4-0 run here by Malaysia, cutting the lead to 4 points.
Rahita Babawe gets fouled on a 3-point shot attempt.
We've been saying that you don't want to foul a jump shooter because especially from the 3, if he fails to make that shot, he's going to move to the free throw line and shoot 3 gift shots. Let's take a look at this once again. A little late on the coverage there, but he was called by the referee. A little arm, but enough to destroy the trajectory of the basketball. But on the other side, prior to that play wherein Malaysia fouled, a nice give and go and just lurking in the corner. Pretty much a corner camper there was true. As soon as got that ball, wala na siyang choice dun, kundi tumira ng 3.
Grahita has been the most prolific player para dito sa Indonesia so far.
Very good pagdating sa separation niya from his defender. 9 points in the first quarter. Good spread in terms of scoring here. 14 points already. And deadly from the free throw line. Nakitang-kita mo yung stroke niya. 2 out of 2. I thought I jinxed him, but he made 3 out of 3 dun sa trip na yun.
26-19 with under 2 minutes remaining dito sa ating second quarter. Maklok Singh. One-handed shot, no friendly bounce. Ball chased, ball loose. Gurnyawan with the rebound. Oh, look at Grahita, extra pass. Prasama denied. Good defense by Malaysia. Loose ball recovered by Indonesia. They hurried that shot. They had a fresh shot clock there. Let's see how Malaysia responds. Tang, sidestep, layup. Almost, but not quite.
Everything was there except that basket. He did a good job again, cutting through that space for his layup. Hindi pumiktos yung bola. Titignan man natin. No? This is the kind of aggressiveness on defense by Malaysia, not giving up on every play. Blocking shots even if they're lacking 3-4 inches in height. But yung kanilang aggressiveness, very commendable here in the first half.
Yung plays na gano'n, nung nagko-coach ka, Coach Ray, tumatayo ka, pumapalakpak ng gano'n.
Yeah, those are effort plays. You're not gonna see it in the stat sheet, especially the next day in your morning newspaper, dahil points lang nilalagay ron eh. But it increases your chances of winning every time you have a player who does things like that day in and day out.
Tagalog, yun yung sinasabing player na magpapakamatay para sa'yo. Sacrificing his body for plays like that is Chan. Still cannot score. Their primary big man really having a tough time from the field. And all he can do is his best as Indonesia is still up 26-19 with under 20 seconds remaining in the second.
Hardy, di sini Pras, si Keceng, sini si Dipta. Lihat Dipta, pas, always kencang-kencangnya. Yang ini kalau dia lari gini, Pras, lari Kevin langsung gini, langsung follow. Ya, si mana? Kalau nggak bisa, balik lagi. Attack aja, pura-pura balik lagi. 19 detik. Kalau nggak bisa, one down. Langsung, Kevin, semua. Dipta di sini, Kevin di sini, si Pras, si Keceng.
And this guy, when he comes, I want maybe come from behind. You aim for this one. Like side. Okay? If nothing, they swing over, match up. Let's go.
It's been a gritty first 20 minutes of action here inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Lamang pa rin ng Indonesia, 26-19 kontra sa Malaysia. Wala nang 20 segundo natitira sa ating first half.
And thanks to Kita, who's got 15 points across his name. Muisang, the legend in Indonesian basketball, has yet to score here in this ballgame.
Hindi pa naman daw kailangan.
Hindi pa, 20 puntos yan eh.
Oh, a Malaysian player just went down. Gurnyawan, open. Couldn't make them pay. Put back, good! Someone is taking his time getting up. Let's take a look at what happened here. There's that last second putback. I think it was...
I didn't catch that, to be honest with you, but that last shot definitely was in the nick of time. That will be counted. Our score will be pegged at 28 Indonesia and 19 for Malaysia.
So I think it's Lakudu still taking his time to get up. The bottom line at the end of the first half, Indonesia taking out the 28-19 lead against Malaysia in a very gritty, very physical first half. And this ball game promises to be a lot more action-packed when we come back. Not if Indonesia continues their surge. Nabanggit mga Coach Ryan, depensa at the score ni Grahita, napakalaki bagay para sa Indonesia.
But from the vantage point of Malaysia, you'd be happy for quick wins because in the first quarter, they only scored 6 points. Now in the second quarter, a total of 19 points. That means they doubled their output to 30, or over doubled their output with 13 points in the second. But Grahita simply unstoppable here in the ball game. Shots from the outside, 2 threes for a total of 15 points. And that last shot, that can be deflating for Malaysia because they played tough defense. But one guy at that point was down because of an injury. So in that last few seconds of play, they were actually playing 4 versus 5.
And we'll break down the story of the stats in just a moment.
I have my weaknesses, but I choose to be strong. I choose to be brave.
I am aware of my flaws, but I choose to be fierce. I choose to do right by others.
I have my doubts and my struggles, but I choose to go all out. I choose to be different.
I choose to be free.
I am what I choose.
I choose to keep fighting.
To carry on.
To live courageously.
TV5 pushes me to be what I want to be.
It encourages me.
It inspires me.
TV5 keeps the fight in me burning.
I choose TV5.
I choose courage.
points. Not every day that you'll be shooting at a high percentage, but your defense has to be consistent. And that is how Indonesia has controlled this game against Malaysia. So you take a look at some of the highlights in the first half. What stands out to you?
Oh, it's the way they're playing defense and the way Gahida is really scoring here at will in the first 2 quarters of play. A lot of chances for Malaysia. They've had like a lot of brilliant plays, especially in the second quarter, but simply too much. Indonesia forcing a lot of turnovers, scoring fast breaks, 15 points for their main man. This guy who's scorching hot, while ito namang Malaysia, especially this guy, 9 points for him all in the second quarter. And if there's one thing that Indonesia is doing is, yes, they're grinding, they are fighting it out, they're challenging a lot of shots, and as a result, they're up by 9 points at the end of 2.
That's why Indonesia has been a headache para dito sa Malaysia. They're also getting second chance opportunities, and we mentioned it at the top of the coverage. They just have that size and that physical advantages to take a look at the story of the stats.
10 out of 31. You are Indonesia. You're not happy with the way you're scoring because it's a very low percentage from the field. But on the defensive end of things, 4 out of 28. That is just fantastic defense. And not only that, they allowed 2 out of 9 from the 3, 2 out of 19 from the 2, and free throw shooting. Malaysia, 90%. That is a passing mark for them, or it is really a very good mark, shooting 90% from the free throw line. Rebounding, Indonesia, because they have a lot of big players in their roster. 11 rebound difference there, and in the assist department, 6 assists for Indonesia and only 2 for Malaysia. In the first 2 quarters of play, Malaysia, it seemed like they could not get the rhythm going. The flow on offense is not present, so they're taking this half to try to calibrate their offense, and hopefully they shoot better from the field.
The forwards of Malaysia, specifically itong si Tin Chun Hong at saka si Chu Wei Hong, most of their points came in that second quarter, Coach Ryan. You hope that continues, but you mentioned a guy like Teo Kok-Hu, who is very talented. You want to see him more aggressive here in the second half against Indonesia.
You have to understand that, yes, you are a point guard. You're supposed to give that pass. You're supposed to give that assist. But in order for a point guard to be more effective inside, is you have to have that offensive strength as well. You should shoot well from the outside, attack the basket, and score in high percentage shots, force turnovers, and finish fast break opportunities. In this skill set of Theo, offense is not yet his claim to fame.
Lalo na in our age today, Coach Ryan, ng mga scoring point guards, in the world stage, of course, yung mga tipong Tony Parker, of course, tayo sa Gilas Pilipinas, Jason Castro, Terence Romeo. So, a guy with Theo's talent, like you mentioned, you have a good eye for talent, Coach. You know he can, but he should, and he should maybe be more aggressive here and open things up for his teammates.
Oh, in the age of internet, you're gonna see a lot of plays from the NBA. You've talked about Parker, who's down right now because of an injury. But first off the bat is Steph Curry, the guy who revolutionized the game of basketball, not just a passing, not just a guy who's just happy to give off those assist passes, but his range from the outside is incredible. And what about the game of John Wall this morning? They were down by a basket against Boston, facing elimination. He shot that 3 to force a win and eventually a Game 7 between Washington and Boston. So what am I talking about? Yes, it is very important for a point guard to have those moves, have great ball handling skills, but you're not going to be defended if you cannot score from the field.
Other side, Indonesia, they hardly miss the scoring of Mario Wuisang because of the tremendous first half. Ito si Abraham Grahita. But of course, when push comes to shove, you know, a veteran will show up, and Mario Wuisang, he's mentioned this a lot of times. He will do what it takes, whether it's making that extra pass, whether it's locking up the best scorer ng kabilang team. It's nice to have a veteran presence like him who's willing to do all those other things.
Yeah, I tend to believe that if you're Malaysia, you've definitely studied tape. After the game yesterday, Wuisang will be a marked man. He scored a total of 20 points yesterday on a 6 out of 7 shooting from the 3. In today's game, still 0. So what does that mean? Stay home. That is the kind of defensive coverage Malaysia is doing against this 38-year-old veteran.
Here we go. We start the third quarter with Grahita getting a steal, a layup attempt, and 2 early shots from the free throw line.
Downright frustrating here. If you're the coach of Malaysia, you're down by 9 points. You stayed a little longer in the locker room trying to find ways to score, but in the first inbound pass, you lose that ball. You force the hottest man in the court to get that steal and a chance for a 2-point shot via the free throw line.
And that free throw brought to you by Smart. Kung ikaw si Abraham Grahita, hahanapin mo yung mga ganung easy shot opportunities, Coach Ryan, coming off turnovers or fast break opportunities.
Oh, quite definitely, because again, the adjustment by the defense would be you also stay home on this man because it's not easy to score 15 points in 20 minutes of action. Out of that 15 points, you scored 2 3-pointers. So, easy points. If you're Grahita, you're the designated scorer, yun ang mga hinahanap-hanap mo. Forced turnovers.
They whistle a foul on Indonesia's Chong attempts to post up Mario Woisang.
It's a good basketball play for Malaysia. You attack the defense of Woisang, not facing up, but of course he's not going to be comfortable defending a man who's trying to back him down. So how many fouls already for Woisang? If I'm not mistaken, that's his second personal foul as validated by our friend Kuya Roy here. So he's playing really tough here because he couldn't get his rhythm. He's in and out the basketball court.
Teo immediately closing out on Grahita, hindi agad dapat coast to coast. This time uses the Woisang screen. They're defending Grahita tighter here in the third quarter.
This is the way to go. Because 15 points, we've talked about how explosive he was in the first 2 quarters. But then again, as soon as we were talking about this guy who's supposed to be a marked man, he stopped on a dime and shot that perimeter jumper.
Showing you offensive versatility.
Yes, that is hard to guard. In between shots, you have to master that. Usually, it's either you go hard for a dribble penetration on the way for an easy layup, or you stop for that set shot and shoot that 3. But if you dribble and stop on a dime and shoot that perimeter jumper, oh, that's really incredible skill set for this man.
Short fade pa dun sa elevation nito si Abraham Grahita. And he ups his total to 18 of Indonesia's 31. Teo comes out to get the ball. Binabatayan siya ni Abraham Grahita. Teo trying to dance with him. No, gives it up. Chong step out of bounds. Against the defense of Mario Woisang.
So defense getting tighter here for Indonesia. This is the same kind of defense that they played in the first 10 minutes of play. They only allowed Malaysia to score 6 points.
Woisang spots the shooter in the corner. No, Grahita dishes out. Sitorus fires away and hits. 3-point shot brought to you by PLDT Home Fiber. Upgrade to home's most powerful broadband.
Oh, that's huge because that will force the center of Malaysia to spread out and defend him from beyond the white line.
Kung kailan pinag-usapan ba naman natin kanina yung Malaysian big men yung tumitira sa labas. Now it's Indonesia.
Oh, yes.
Oh, look at that. Good stop by Indonesia.
Oh, everything but the basket there. Itong si Chu was so surprised. He was wide open dun sa kanyang layup. And as a result, he missed it.
Kick out. Woisang. 3-pointer. Back irons it and Chong with a rebound. Under 8 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Teo probing. Ting driving, baseline, gets it a go, much needed inside bucket.
Oh, this guy failed to score in the first quarter, but he came in off the bench to score 9 points in the second quarter. And he's not done yet. Easy 2 points for him, the first quarter here in the third quarter for Malaysia.
Second chance opportunities again. And Sitepo puts it back in.
Oh, this guy reminds me really. Halos si Kyle Pascual ang nakikita ko rito.
That's it. I was, kanina ko iniisip yan eh.
Parang nagulat ako
pati
numero
may naalala ako dito eh. Nothing escapes your watchful eye, Coach Rai. I'm impressed. Color me impressed.
I'm 45, but still 2020.
And look at Dale Coco knock down a three-point shot brought to you by PLDT Home Fiber. Upgrade the home's most powerful broadband.
I think he heard us. He was playing so unselfishly in the first 2 quarters. The problem was his teammates could not score, and now he's taking upon himself. That was really from the parking lot, if we may say so. Take a look at that. That range, that is Curry-esque.
And as Mark Jackson says, hand down, man down.
You've got no one to blame but you.
Yeah. 36-24, lamang pa rin ng Indonesia kontra sa Malaysia. Oh, gamble there by Pratama. Leaves the shooter open and makes him pay.
That's disgusting, especially because you tried to gamble, and if you do not get that ball, that will leave your guy open for that 3, and Ting is just waxing hot here in this ball game. 15 or 14 points across his name.
Pratama probing baseline. Grahita guarded closely by Chong. Sitorus offline that time, but look at who's there to put it back in. Abraham Grahita on fire.
And it is just fundamentals. You are Malaysia, you force that bad shot. You challenge that outside shot, but on the defensive end of things, you try to get that ball by attacking and not doing the fundamental things in basketball. Ang importante kasi dyan na rebounding situation, you locate your man, you block out, and that is the only opportunity for you to get that rebound. Not present there in that scheme, and as a result, look at this man, 21 big points, and we're only in the third.
21 of Indonesia's 39. And he's not done. Grahita puts it up. No. Oh, Satoru bungled the basketball. Taylor the save. Malaysia again fighting and scrapping. Yo. Oh, lost the ball there. Grahita looking ahead. Gets it to Mario Wisang to set the table. Oh, Sitepu, hard take inside and will shoot 2 free throws.
I always like to see big men get that explosive first step. You're supposed to first have that consistent and respectable shot from the outside so that defense will close out long on you. But if it does, then you have to have that quickness and that explosion to put the ball down maximum 2 times and try to go for a layup. He failed, but he was fouled on his way. So Sitepu will go to the free throw line again. Gugulat ako rito sa kanyang tira. The usual situation here is pag nagkapos, punas ka muna kasi madulas yung bola.
Immediately. Look at his hands with Tumulas. Airball the first free throw. Pero you were talking about the face-up drive, Coach Rai. Isang player na alala ko na galing sa ganyan.
Sino yan?
Kirby Raimundo.
Oh yes, that first quick move for him. Yung kanyang beginning moves kasi on his first dribble, iwan na yung bantay niya. Yung beginning moves, very important talaga for a basketball player.
Ano, may mystery makikita ko yung 6'7". May mid-range shot, tapos kaya kang i-take off the dribble or post up.
Well, the special situation for that kind of a player is you put him dun sa may elbow.
Yeah.
Because he's got that 15-foot jumper. If you don't close out on him, then he's just going to take that shot. It's going to be banked every single time. But if the defense, again, recovers long, then make that sweeping catch-and-rip move, and defense will no longer be in front of you.
Na-imagine ko na eh. Yung pag tinatawag mo si Kirby nun, Coach, pinapapo mo, may instructions kang konti eh. Ganun, yung sweep. Flow past the first defender.
It's an isolation move, but of course, the other 4 guys must be able to space that floor in order for that isolation man to have space for his operation.
That time, Prastawa knocking it down. Thanks to that assist from Mario Wisang, like what we mentioned, doing all the other things for Indonesia.
Oh, he's a veteran. He knows the things that are required for his team to win. And look at that. He is not supposed to be the rotator there, but sensing that they're in deep trouble. So he was the one, the smallest man inside the court, trying to defend the biggest man dito sa Malaysia, it was an intelligent foul because instead of giving up 2 easy shots or easy 2 points because of an easy shot, pumaul siya, it's just a baseline out of bounds play.
And I can see another veteran, you know, watching somewhere there, appreciating what Mario Wuisang is doing. That's our very own Jimmy Alapan.
Oh, they see eye to eye. Jimmy is not the tallest man inside the basketball court, but his intelligence and, of course, his outside shooting, his ability to shoot accurately from the 3 served him well, not just in the PBA, but also in international competition.
The entire bench of Malaysia cheering for the first basket of their big man, Chan, finally scoring against the front line of Indonesia.
Oh, he's been trying, but most of the time, especially in the first 2 quarters, all his shots were swatted away. That's why he really deserved that round of applause.
They're defending as a team. Talking about Malaysia. As they force that turnover, take a look at this, Coach Ryan.
He used his strength there, bulldoze his way, pretty much like bully basketball. That's what we saw in that particular play. He's a frustrated young man. All his shots were foiled, and this time around, he couldn't be denied.
Sigh of relief yun for a player like China. Finally, na-scorean ko na rin kayo, and you know, that hopefully picks his confidence up for the next time he has a scoring opportunity.
So at some point, the game is all about pride. You don't want to be a whipping boy from the opening quarter up to the end. At least for one particular action, he was able to score because of his strength.
Look at Corneawan. Athletic wing just couldn't get the shot to fall. Lapudu magsaset ng table. Chan gets him on the switch. He spots Corneawan at the corner. 2 left to shoot. Ball loose. That will be less than 2 seconds to shoot para sa Indonesia.
And that is going to be a very important possession here, especially if you're defending, because Malaysia is down by 12 points. They did a fantastic job defending in the first 22 and a half. So now they have to complete it.
Sartorius fires. There's a shot clock violation.
Now Malaysia is down by 12 points. There's no such thing as a 1 12-point shot here. They really have to be very patient. They have enough time. All they need to do is inch in. They should be down at least here at the end of 3 by just 6 to 8 points, and they will have a better opportunity to try to win in the end.
There's Chan again, post up against Firman. Oh, tried to find a cutter. Open shot won't fall. Good box out by Firman. No, but 2 Indonesian frontliners battle for the ball and lose it.
So 14 seconds. Sayang hindi nagkaambuyan yung Indonesia ron. So sensing how important this possession is, Malaysia quickly calls timeout.
Tulad natin laging sinasabi, when you're trailing, never give up until the final buzzer. It's a 12-point ball game, 42-30.
Big time.
Our connection's now even stronger. Plan started.
Sorry. Maybe inbound. We own inside. Okay? Big time. You run, look inside. Okay? Looks inside. Yeah? Now, if you run already, this thing is set. Look for Yen Yao. Don't you go, that is a shot. If nothing, this thing you look at, you got it, this thing goes in. The long one, maybe the last pass. Okay?
Tapi jangan full. Shot, balik yang ini. Collapse. Just swing it. Full. Bantu. Dia siap sini bantu. Ya, let's go, guys. Let's go, guys.
Jimmy Lepag watching with his son, enjoying this action between Indonesia and Malaysia. It's nice to have the next generation of future ballers, you know, enjoying this action of the 2017 SEABA Basketball Championship. Assistant coaches Josh Riz, John Michiko also in attendance. But I am with the three-time BBA Coach of the Year, Coach Ryan Gregorio, calling the action here. And you mentioned Coach Ryan, Malaysia just has to keep doing what they're doing. Fight, scrap, not give up if they want to catch up.
And I always like to have a positive output every time you call a timeout. That is exactly what Malaysia did. 14 seconds in their shot clock. They called the timeout. They inbounded the ball. They shot a three. They made it. They're only down by 9 points. And 2 good possessions. One is the offensive end. And now they did a good job making a stop. So they're within range. They're within their goal. I set a target for them to be down by 6 points at the end of 3 quarters. Yeah. And they're definitely in the line wherein they can achieve it.
Chan, oh, look at that. Up and under move and gets it to go.
They've got confidence oozing all over after he made that first shot. It's a nice basketball play. The last time I saw that kind of a play was when Alvin Patrimonio was still playing for Pure Foods.
Oh, yeah.
Up and under play, you make that fake, you bite, and then you're gone. That is exactly what Chan did to his defender.
He's more patient now, Coach Ryan, when he's working in the low block.
Yes, because he knows how to use his strength. Nawawala sa posisyon yung kanyang defender. He's not in a rush. It's not a vertical leap right away. He's using his timing to score underneath.
And it will be a foul on Tifta Pratama. Look at this, Coach Ryan. Up and under.
Now, 2 things. In order for you to score there, you've got to have really good footwork for you to make that move and not travel. And once you have that chance to shoot, you have to use your left hand. So it's not enough for you. If you're a natural right-handed man, it's not enough for you to work on your right. Also work on your left. When the situation calls for it, it's going to be easy basket for you.
And also, Malaysia has to stay aggressive and get trips at the line and convert.
And this is the target that we've set. They were down by 15 points at one point, and all we told them was to be down by 6 points. And now, look at that. They were able to chip in one more basket. They're only down by 5. Only 2 possessions. They're down, but they're playing so much better here in the third compared to the first 2 quarters that they played.
Baseline jumper wouldn't fall. Malaysia getting the stops. Chance to get within loud shouting distance now.
What is nice is basketball-loving Filipinos will applaud effort. In terms of height, Malaysia is at a huge disadvantage. Being down by 15 points, there is no way for them to win in the first 3 quarters. But look at that. A shot from the outside. But what is nice is they're not playing their home court. But because they are the perceived underdogs, they're getting a lot of cheers from the Filipino fans present here today.
Wala nang isang minuto na titira dito sa ating third quarter. At Malaysia, unti-unti, tinatapya sa kalamangan ng Indonesia. So Depu facing up against Chan. Rahita has been silent here. Lakudo. Teardrop. Won't fall. And a longer Indonesian front line securing that rebound. Nakudu driving left, putting it up, no friendly bounce. Sitepu puts it back and finally gets to the ball.
Now that is important, especially if you're Teo. Somebody is trying to penetrate. You don't want to wait for the help side defender. That time around, the big man had to be the last guy on defense. He stepped out. Now when the point guard missed that shot, wala na ngayong nag-rebound for Malaysia.
3 seconds still, overcooks it. And what a wild and wicked third quarter. And Malaysia within striking distance now. 37-44 against Indonesia. And the next 10 minutes of action promises to be action-packed, so keep it locked in for the fourth quarter. Indonesia, Malaysia here in the 2017 SEABA Championship in Manila. As we take a look at some of the highlights, kahit started out the third, continuing his scoring tear. Pero as a unit, yun ang ginawang pagbawi ng Malaysia, Coach.
Oh, I like the fight back by Malaysia. They were down at 1 point, 34-19. But shots from the outside, a lot of brilliant plays defensively. They forced a lot of turnovers in the third. Of course, Indonesia, by virtue of their better outside shooting, still made shots from the outside by this man. 4 points all in the third quarter, and style points at that. Down by 15. Only down by 7. We have a ball game in our hands.
And definitely it is going to be an explosive fourth quarter in just a moment. Back inside the Smart Arena Coliseum for the fourth quarter between Malaysia fighting back from a big disadvantage against Thailand, and we would like to greet you a beautiful afternoon, and we'd like to thank you for joining us in our 2017 SEABA Championship coverage. Hatid po sa inyo ng buong pwersa ng Sports 5. Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood. Ako po si James Velasquez, kasama three-time PBA Coach of the Year, Coach Ryan Gregorian. What's been the biggest story of the game, Coach Ryan?
The third quarter, very nice quarter for Malaysia. And what is so impressive is the way they fought back. They were down again 15 points, but they were really clawing their way back, diving for loose balls, making intelligent plays inside. And I looked at the stat line. There is one thing that Malaysia did. They outscored the bench 30-12. So Wei Sang, who was a leading scorer yesterday, still nothing. So very nice here. They still have a chance to win this ball game, but they have to stop Indonesia.
For Pratama, Rahita, Sitepu and company, they have to find ways to score now, because Malaysia has been stuffing their drives na kanina napaka-effective para sa kanila, Coach Ryan.
Oh yes, and I think if you are Indonesia, all you want to do right now is just limit the offensive accuracy of Malaysia. Game-wise, they only allowed 25%. That is good. But in the third quarter, dumikit yung Malaysia ron. And this guy, he looks unstoppable. But this time around, he was forced to be a facilitator. In the last possession earlier in the third quarter, he attacked his defense and made that nice up and under move. So defense again, a thing that is given emphasis by Indonesia.
So, kanina pala sinusubukan yung backdoor cut eh. May naglalaro doon sa likod ng depensa, Coach Ryan.
Mahirap yun. Dahil kailangan accurate yung pasa mo ron at yung non-verbal communication.
Yeah.
Katulad ng nangyari ron, hindi nagkaintindihan, ang resulta turnover.
Indonesia, second shot opportunity. Wala. The tip. And Malaysia controls the basketball. They are within single digits. Gil asking to get the basketball now in the post. Malaysia really pounding it in the low block. Kick outside, take it away. Basa in play. Lakudu. Pratama all the way for two.
A fantastic teamwork there. Daita, who's the hottest man inside, could have taken that shot, but it is really nice to see if you're a coach and you see an extra pass that will really improve their chemistry, and teamwork really makes the dream work. And that is why Indonesia, again, up by 11 at this point.
Yun yung isa sa mga dahilan bakit malaki lamang nila the first half because of their points in transition and points off turnovers.
Oh yes, and if you're Malaysia, you just want to take care of that leather because the way Indonesia is attacking them, especially on fast break, it is always an advantage for Indonesia. That time around, a 3-on-1. So huge dahil limited itong rotation ng Malaysia. Napapagod na rin yung kanilang mga player.
Seo Koku, 3, no, Pratama the rebound. Indonesia looking to rule the boards once again, like what they did in the first half.
Now I look back in the game of Malaysia yesterday, they played decent basketball in the first 3 quarters, but only to lose team in the 4th. And this is again what is happening here. If they are not careful, they might just lose this grip of this game.
Now look at Chando. Not on my watch. Sending that shot to the stands. They released the first row.
Playing a little bit of volleyball there.
Yeah, meet me at the top and don't be late. Here's Grahita from the corner, knocks it down! And that three-pointer brought to you by PLDT Home Fiber. Upgrade to home's most powerful broadband.
I'm telling you, this guy can play. I'm looking at the spread of his points. He scored 9 in the first, total of 15 in the second, 21 in the end of 3 quarters, and now a total of 24. But he's human after all. He missed a gimme there. Easy shot that could have given him a 26-point output.
Mad scramble for the loose ball, and it ends up Indonesia basketball.
But sometimes you just have to reward effort in the game of basketball. You cannot just lag behind, meaning if you miss a shot, that means you have to go to the next play. It could be frustrating because it was unmolested, but ang nangyari ron is nabawi naman nila pagdating sa depensa.
51-37, under 8 minutes remaining here in the 4th. Oh, Lakudu on the cut. Kicks outside. Grahita. Aggressive to the basket. Banks it in. Plus the foul.
Well, we were running out of space here. 26 points for Grahita. We've talked about his performance yesterday, and it seems like he was just given a rest by his coach. And now, since Wui Sang is not playing good basketball because he was tired yesterday, and he is 38 years old, that gave the coach Grahita the key to really set the offense for them, score at will, 5 out of 6, make it 5 out of 7, but they get that possession back.
53-37 lead. Lakudu uses his Sitepu screen. Tries to feed it inside, but take it away. Ding to Hang. 3-pointer short. And it will go back to the white shirts. Mario Wuisang just chilling on the bench. So far, his backcourt mates have been carrying the load.
And you've got to be realistic about the situation here. Remember, you've talked about his age. He is 38 years old. And in international competitions, you play back-to-back-to-back-to-back. So it is very important for his coach to give him a rest and just let the score here and just preserve the victory.
And Chu Wei Hong will be at the line. And this free throw brought to you by Smart. Sitepu, or Sitorus rather, securing the basketball. Indonesia has to take care of the ball. Last few possessions, force and turnover itong Malaysia, Coach Rai. Oh, they call a foul on that drive.
I just don't know where our referee saw that contact. Because we're upstairs, but there might be contact. Let's take a look at the slow-mo once again. Great help side defensive stance. But number 71 was caught caught hitting the head of Lakudu. So 2 gift shots for Indonesia. The first one, he was able to nail it.
For Indonesia now, Coach Ryan, it's all about covering those bases, make those free throws, take care of the basketball, because you do have the cushion here, 54-38, where 6 minutes left to play. They got 55-38.
But if you're Indonesia, you're looking for payback. The last time these two teams went
right.
up against each other in 2016 SEABA Stankovic Cup, it was actually Malaysia beating Indonesia 74-49. However, tables have been turned with Indonesia sending their A team and Malaysia missing most of their players from last year's squad. So they're just taking advantage of the situation right now. Again, there's just great rivalry between these two Southeast Asian neighbors, not just in the sport of basketball, but more so in the sport of football.
Nabanggit mo, Coach Ryan, yun yung influensya ng programa, yung basketball program ng Gilas Pilipinas, kasi nagka-cadets team na rin yung Indonesia. Yun yung pinadala nila doon sa Stankovic Cup. Ngayon, dahil nga dinurog sila doon nung Malaysia, sabi nila ngayon for SEABA play, they need to bring in the best team.
What you need really is to have a long-term plan. You cannot expect players, especially if they're not young guys, to play long time in using or donning your national team colors. So cadets is important because of transition, and not only that, yung consistency na matagal silang maglalaro together for them really to have a great chance to win in international tournaments.
7 seconds left to shoot now for Indonesia. Lakudu on the crossover. The dish. Sitorus faces 3 green shirts, turns it over. Hang racing down the floor. Feeds Chu inside and will shoot free throws. Gulat yun, laki bigla nung nasa tapat niya.
It's just great effort. Usually when you're up by 17 points, you give those shots away, but not Indonesia. Specifically, Sitepo, he was there really to run with the guard of Malaysia just to foil that attempt.
Big man-nya sini, lu naik up and down gini aja. Lo screen, nanti lo kesini lagi. Yang penting smallnya bergerak, ya. Big man-nya secure aja. Untuk screen, big man untuk screen. Kecuali lo open, lo bisa dive, boleh. Gak usah lari-lari aja, yang lari small-smallnya ya. Oke? Ngerti gak? Ngerti? Yuk. Let's go, last 4 minutes, let's go. Bro, start, bro, start. Gak usah, oke. Kevin, bro, start. Abraham, start. Okay, guys, let's go.
Hey, let's go, guys, let's go! One side, two side comes up, get the ball. Run flat. Everything goes in flat. Alright, hey, when you come out, you're open. I want you to take a shot or drive. That's all. Got it? Yeah.
Back inside the Smart Araneta Coliseum, when Malaysia is looking for one last gallant stand against Indonesia, as they are trailing 38-55 with Chu Wei Hong at the line.
Almost a must-win situation here for Malaysia because they dropped their first game against Thailand. While Indonesia, they won yesterday against Singapore, and if they go back-to-back, that will really increase their chances here in this tournament. 7 teams, 6 play days, and only 1 winner. Of course, the challenge is, can they dethrone Gilas Pilipinas, or are they just playing for second place?
Wei Sang immediately double team. Look at the scrambling defense now of Malaysia. Look at that trap there, but there's a whistle.
Awarding of foul there, Grahita. There is no reason for him to question that call. You have to give credit when credit is due. A blind double team by Malaysia. He was running out of real estate there. Take a look at that left hand to ward off. And that was enough for our referee to merit an offensive foul.
So dangerous time still. Although it's a 15-point cushion, 55-40. They call a blocking foul.
2 free throws because Indonesia is already in team penalty. If you are trying to launch a comeback, this will help you because you're down 15. You go to the free throw line. They've been accurate from the line all game long. The shot clock is not moving. The game clock, of course, is not moving. Then you have a chance to make that comeback.
Slowly but surely.
16 points. A very nice performance by Ting. We've talked about his efficiency in today's game. 0 in the first, but he started scoring and is now leading all scorers for Malaysia.
Sitepu knocks it down. Just a long two for Sitepu, but a much-needed bucket for Indonesia.
They have to have that space because you don't want to give this Hunger Team Malaysia just a tiny opening for them to make a comeback. So if you can have that separation and just cruise along the way, then that's going to be good for them because they don't have to exert a lot of energy because they have another game to play tomorrow.
Good stop there. Sitepu denying Ong on the easy layup. Let's see if Indonesia. Oh, but Wisang turns it over.
Wisang really could not get his rhythm today. We've talked about his brilliant performance yesterday. 20 points, 6 out of 7 from the field. Or it's not just on a high percentage shot, it's 6 out of 7 from the 3. Fantastic game for him yesterday, but not today.
Go and stand there. Maybe goes in. Gektai goes in. Okay, don't go shortcut already. I want most of the time go Mei. Okay? Yitong, do your job. Yang Yao, do your job. Goes there. When Leong dribbles over, Mei comes up. He tighter the mark. He denied. You go back down, look for that pass. Got it? If Mei gets the ball.
Steph, habis terima bola, penetrate. Ya, itu aja. Jangan pegang bola, lu one-on-one gini. Pass, kick out, open, take the shot, get rebound.
Dia kan trap nih, dia kan trap. Kalau kita bisa beli sekali 1, 2, 3 kali, selesai trapnya.
Okay, let's go!
Indonesia!
You need to get fired up if you're Malaysia with just 3.5 minutes remaining if you want to stage an epic comeback against Indonesia, which already has a win in the standings here in the 2017 SEABA Championship.
Oh, time is definitely not on their side, but we've seen incredible things happen here in basketball, so don't count out Malaysia yet. For as long as there is time to be played, may chance ka pa rin makahabol.
It's a scramble for the ball when Ong went down.
Ball possession stays with Malaysia.
Will stay with Malaysia.
12 seconds on the shot clock.
They have 12 left to shoot. Big three here or an end one could change the complexion of this game, Coach Ryan.
Oh yes, and this is a very important possession for them. They missed this particular shot here, then I don't think they have a chance.
Just the size of Indonesia, carrying rebounding, enabling them to get the basketball back.
Pure intimidation there. Defenders really did not have a lot of energy to just to even bother that shot, but it was still enough for Malaysia to miss.
Wisang's pass, bothered, take it away. Malaysia still scrapping and knocking at that door. Coming up on the last 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth. Malaysia has to move. They need points in bunches and in a hurry. Double team, take it away. And Prastawa will wait for more white shirts across their attack zone.
And no reason for them to be in a rush because they're up by 15 with time down to less than 2 and 20. They don't need to go for quick baskets.
Wisang misses. And the last 2 minutes brought to you by Smart. Again, another steal.
This is our situation here. Malaysia simply running out of steam once again for the second straight play date. They had a marvelous third quarter. They were down 15, were able to bring it down to 5 points, but in the fourth, they lost it again. It was all Indonesia up to this point.
Good ball movement there. Ends up in this Cornelian three.
Sometimes it's all about rhythm.
And that three-point shot brought to you by PLDT Home Fiber. Upgrade to home's most powerful broadband.
Indonesia knowing what basketball is all about, meaning they were just so happy to make that extra pass. First time to take that shot from the three in the fourth quarter. He hits nothing but the bottom of the net.
And that's the biggest lead of the game, 60-42. And that could be it, Coach Rob.
Oh, definitely. As early as the 4-minute mark, I thought with the way things are going, Malaysia, they had a hard time scoring here. And Indonesia just making the extra pass, getting a good rhythm in the fourth. It's just oozing at this point. When you're up by a big margin, it feels like the goal is even getting bigger.
That's been the big story of the game, Coach Rai, the defense of Indonesia. You stay consistent with that, and the offense will come flowing.
And they're not stopping to play, especially on defense. When the game is a blowout, you don't want to develop a lot of bad habits, and that is what Indonesia is doing. And if Malaysia is not careful, they just might carry over this particular game to their next game. That can be disastrous for them.
And Indonesia will probably just let time run out. They get an applause from this crowd inside a Smart Araneta Coliseum. Only the final score left to be decided, but a strong showing from one of the peg contenders here in the 2017 SEABA Championship. Big win for Indonesia, 2-0 in the tournament. They take it 63-42.
Very entertaining ball game here. The applause really was for Indonesia. They were the seeded teams coming into this ball game, and true enough, they were able to win comfortably in today's game. But for Malaysia, they just simply did not give up. At one point, I thought like it's gonna be a blowout, 15 points, but towards the end, they just ran out of steam. Not enough roster power for them. They outscored Indonesia in terms of bench scoring, but still, it was not enough. Grahita was simply unstoppable. Very impressive ball game for this man.
At one point, Coach Ryan had all the points of Indonesia back in that first quarter.
Well, the first quarter started with Indonesia scoring the first 9 points. That's how it ended, 14-6, and 9 coming from Grahita.
And then in the second quarter, actually Malaysia tried to creep closer because Ting and Chung were able to score. And that's why we ended the first half 28-19. But how about this third quarter? Malaysia finally hitting their shots from downtown. And Chan, look at the style points on that up and under.
Awesome comeback here for Malaysia. After being down by a huge margin, they were able to claw their way back in the third, but they just lost steam. It is just a powerhouse Indonesian team. They went up against Grahita, great spread, 21 points at the end of 3 quarters. He ended the ball game with 26. After that, it was just simply pressing the cruise control for Indonesia. At the end, they were up by 21.
And that was their biggest lead of the game as they take this big win against Malaysia. They dropped Malaysia to 0-2 here in the standings. But again, final story of the stats.
That was quick.
Well, of course, when you take a look at the three-point shooting, much of those 8 for Indonesia actually went in during the fourth quarter.
10 out of 46. That explains the kind of offensive woes that Malaysia experienced here, but it is not just the way they scored. It was pretty much how Indonesia defended in all our departments. Look at that, lording it over from the rebounding end, 52-30. In the assist, 14-5. So again, fight back. Indonesia losing to Malaysia in the Stankovic Cup, but not this time in Manila. A convincing win for Indonesia.
Hey, and you mentioned that they wanted payback for the last time that they squared off, and they did it in a big way. Statement win 63-42, and look at that, just a huge edge in rebounding and assists. Just Indonesia stamping their class in this game.
And not only that, the second chance opportunity is also 25-4, also pointing to the direction of Indonesia.
Something that you've always said since we partnered up calling basketball: no rebounds, no wins. And true enough, that was the result today, Coach Ryan.
And look at the scoring. Abraham Grahira with 26 points, Jacasa with 9, Pratamo with 8, Lakudu with 6, while on the other side, Tin scoring all the 16 points in the last 3 quarters, and Chu with 9, Teo with 5, Shan with 4. So great effort by Malaysia, but simply too good was this Indonesia national team.
As we take a look at our team standings so far, Thailand, Indonesia up in the standings, both of them 2 wins and no loss. But coming up next, the reigning, defending kings of the SEABA tournament, the Philippines, Gilas Pilipinas, will be taking on Singapore. And me and Coach Ryan will be enjoying the action for the 3-time PBA Coach of the Year, Coach Ryan Gregorio, and our Sports 5 team. We'll catch you on the rebound. My name is James Velasquez. Keep it locked in for more SEABA basketball action.